EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marticher with your outlook for December 19th, 2022. It is Monday, and the Monday video forecast is proudly sponsored by Kinsley's Family Market in Broadheadsville, Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Kinsley's is the world's largest ShopRite, and the ShopRite logo means they're all about food, they're all about savings, and they're all about you. Kinsley's is currently running their December promotion, Feast of the Seven Fishes. Whether this is your family's annual tradition or you want to start a new one, this epic seafood fest is an unforgettable way to celebrate Christmas Eve with family and friends. Of course, Christmas Eve is this Saturday. Steakhouse shrimp, stuffed mushrooms, seafood salad platter, and stuffed flounder, just to name a few. So stop by Kinsley ShopRite for your traditional holiday favorites. They are Kinsley ShopRite, located at 107 Kinsley's Drive in Broadheadsville, Monroe County, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the Monday video forecast. So we do have some changes. Some changes from what we were looking at last week, and we told you how things are kind of all over the place. I was at one time leaning toward a snow solution, and I was kind of convinced by the time we got to the Friday morning video that I did on Thursday night, because everything seemed to be lining up for that. But alas, it was at that point a 7-day lead time, and the models are not very good at that range, apparently, at this point. So still some work to do. I know I had a couple upgrades to a few of them here within the past couple of months. Whether those upgrades were beneficial or not doesn't look like it. They're kind of going backwards and regressing a little bit in some ways. So it's just comes down to the fact that we just don't have, they don't have the capability really to forecast for a pinpoint location or pinpoint area at a 7-day lead time. You can get close sometimes. Temperature patterns and precipitation patterns are easier to predict than actual storms. And when they have such a complex storm like this, they were guessing wrong collectively. So we're now looking at a different situation with this. But there is going to be snow involved with this, we think. And there also may still be a way to get a right Christmas out of this, okay? So bear with me here, all right? So we're going to move this ahead. This is today, by the way, which is a mostly sunny day. It's going to be cold the next couple of days through midweek. Today's temperature spread, as you can see above me, 32 to 40 from northwest to southeast, and 34 to 42. So not much different here on Tuesday, with still mostly sunny skies expected on Tuesday, and high pressure at control. You can see that right over top of the region here on Tuesday. Once we get to Wednesday, we're going to expect a partly cloudy day. And again, temperatures are going to be probably at either side of 40, okay? So maybe another 2 degrees higher than what they were, maybe a 36 to 44 spread or something like that for Wednesday, okay? Then we get to this next system, which is going to come in on Thursday. Now, it looks like this is the European model I'm showing you first. European model has been one of the first to jump off board of the original snow idea it had. It was struggling a little bit last week and back and forth, and it finally jumped off, and everything else kind of followed it since that point. Same with the Canadian, same with the GFS. I could show you any one of those. They're all doing generally the same thing. So what this has, now this has a little bit further west than just about everything else with the initial low. Remember, there was a low that was out here originally. We were looking at this last week. It was going up the Carolina coast and going off the coast. Well, this is now way off to the west. And we are going to keep in the forecast the chance for, before any rain comes in on Tuesday, and this doesn't look like an overwhelming amount of rain initially. Before any rain comes in, if it comes in early enough on Thursday morning, you could have a wintry start to it. Just a brief mixing, some sleet pellets, maybe some freezing rain very early at the onset, and then very quickly going over to rain, okay? So and the NAM is showing this at max range here. Here's the simulated radar at the this is looking at overnight Wednesday night, actually. As this moves off to the north, you can see on the northern fringe here just a little bit here, but that quickly changes over to rain as it moves up. So I think your best chance to get something wintry would be up in these areas, in our interior areas and parts of northeast PA, most notably. But it's still going to change to rain there rather quickly, too. I'm not expecting any kind of major snowfall here in this area. We will watch that throughout the week, but I just don't see it just yet. The NAM is not in range for the end of the storm, which could give us the White Christmas part of it, but it is going to be very critical to the forecast this week, and I'll tell you why here in a second. All right, so this is going to all change over to rain, right? You get rain throughout the day and through the night, and we'll have to work on. We will have a rain map out for this. We do send alerts for not just snow and wintry weather, but also if we have rain going more than a half inch over a 12-hour period, we will send that out too, and we certainly think that we can get to there. So this has the European model has low pressure tracking straight through the region. And then we have this Arctic front. Okay, this is on the lead of this trough that's coming in. It's not coming in time. If it were coming in time, it could be a different situation, but it's not coming in time. There's this really, really cold air push that's going to come in behind this. And this Arctic front is what separates temperatures ahead of it out here that are going to be in the upper 40s to maybe low 50s, right? And this is ahead of this front on Friday. The opposite side of this front, temperatures are in the teens and 20s. It's cold. So it's going to be a sharp cutoff here. And as this moves through, temperatures are going to plummet. And it's going to be a rapid plummet in temperatures from going from, upper 40s to low 50s all the way down, fall through the 30s and 20s rather quickly. So we're going to have a flash freeze concern because they have all this rain that was out ahead of it, right? And they're going to have some windy conditions on top of that. And as this moves through, this Arctic front is part of a negatively tilted trough, and you're going to have some added lift along that. So this is not your typical back-end snow situation where you're trying to hope for some flakes at the end here as low pressure is departing. This is not that case. This is an Arctic front that is a mesoscale feature, which is why the NAM's going to come into play once we get to about midweek or just before that, right? It's not range yet, but it'll pick up this feature quite well, which shows this rain changing to snow. Now, this isn't a lot of snow. This is only maybe like an inch or two in some places, maybe 3. But you only need an inch on the ground on Christmas morning. I know this is reaching, folks. I know it is. We were expecting a lot more than that and not have any problems with that. But you only need an inch of snow on the ground, technically, to have a white Christmas. The ground's white when you wake up on Christmas morning, because this is not going to, whatever falls and sticks here is going to stick, right? And it's going to stay around. It's not going anywhere because it's going to be brutally cold behind this for both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I don't care if the sun's out or not. It's going to be in the 20s and it's going to be cold, okay? And overnight lows in the single digits and teens pretty much. So it's not going to melt, whatever falls and sticks. But this Arctic front will help you watch because this is a mesoscale feature. It will along that frontal boundary as that moves through. So you have rain mixing with and then changing to snow rather quickly. And then it should stick as those temperatures drop quickly and everything freezes over. So we will have a flash freeze concern. We'll have possible snow out of this with this front. This is what we're going to have to watch for this week. And then that will exit. It looks like this front comes through here about Friday, late afternoon and evening, it looks like, is the best time frame right now. But once it comes through, you're going to know it. The wind's going to pick up. Temperatures are going to drop like a rocket. And then you're going to have flash freezes and the and snow changing to snow. But again, the NAM is at max range right now. This is the 12-kilometer NAM, not the regular, or not the high-resolution version, which is what I'm really interested in. That won't be available until we get to about the Wednesday video. So hopefully, we can see a better representation of that. It's going to look like a squall line band come through. GFS has that this evening too. Same thing. This is the overnight run here. It has this changing over. You see that sharp change over, that really heavy snow when it does change over. It's not going to be a long duration thing, a couple hours, but if it's coming down hard enough and sticking right away, you can certainly get some accumulations out of that as it pushes off through. So don't pay attention to the snow maps with this. It's going to be useless. It's not going to be able to pick up on the intensity of that band. It is, again, a mesoscale feature, not something the GFS is used for. The NAM is, actually, the 3-kilometer NAM is, but it's not in range yet. Okay, so that's that system. And again, we're going to be very cold behind this for the weekend. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s both days. Of course, this weekend is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, back to back. So we're expecting temperatures in the 20s, solidly in the 20s, like lower 20s, in fact. And then overnight lows in the single digits and teens on both of those nights. So it's going to be pretty cold. And actually, Friday night, once that front comes through, we're going to go all the way down into the lower teens, it looks like, as the front moves through, even below 20 degrees in Philadelphia. It looks like as that front moves through. So it means business. This front means business. And again, it's going to be cold through the holiday itself, but we are looking at dry conditions over the weekend. It'll still be windy, cold air, advection-related wind gusts on Saturday as well. When we get further in the week, I'll give you more specifics on what kind of wind to expect. Right now, it's looking like something like a 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts accompanying the front. That's a good early estimate, but we'll try to narrow that down with timing and how much we can be looking at as we get further into the week. And the same thing with the snowfall. Once we get the short range stuff in range, I'll have a better idea of that too. Because right now, these are just showing, the squall line coming through, and it doesn't really produce much precipitation or much snowfall, but it probably will. Okay, so if this feature is here, which is again is a mesoscale feature, none of these models I'm showing you here are mesoscale models. These are just global models. Once that in range, we should have a better idea of what kind of snow we're dealing with that back end stuff, which is legitimate in this case. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martish. That is your outlook for December 19th, 2022. Have a great Monday.